would please raise your right hand. Do you declare and affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you kindly. Normally we would be good to proceed. Mr. Burnham, are you still intending to request postponement?
I'm prepared to proceed this morning.
All right, thank you kindly. If you would both please remain muted unless called upon to speak, and we are good to proceed.
Hey, Mr. Lucy, you brought this citation. Could you please tell the commission why?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. On October 17th, about 5:34, I was riding my mountain bike on Gibson Island. I was coming up to an area that has baseball, lacrosse fields on the left, on a road called Broadwater Way. And it comes right to a fork where you can either go straight on St. Giles Street or go on Broadwater Way. As I came up to that fork, and I was intending to go on Broadwater Way, a chocolate lab ran across Broadwater Way, continued running across St. Giles Street. I stopped my bike literally in front of the sign that has Broadwater Way and St. Giles Street. My wife had been hurt in 2000 by a lab who took her out on her bike from the hospital, and was now off to my right, across Broadwater, St. Giles, now off to my right, and the dog is being pursued, and I didn't know who it was at the time. I since found out it was Mr. Burnham, by a person in a golf cart. So I continued filming the dog. The dog was about, was running back and forth, but the dog was about 75 to 100 yards from me being pursued by Mr. Burnham. The dog came running toward me, almost got hit by a golf cart coming on St. Giles. This is all on video, which I've sent to Officer Hall. Dog almost got hit by didn't stop. Golf cart went by. The dog came over to me, began sniffing my leg. The gentleman who I did not know, who was Mr. Burnham, came up to me, and as the video states, I told him as he started to speak that I was recording this, and he asked me if I was going to use this video against him in the future. And I just told him that his dog running off is illegal. He said it's not illegal if you're in control of your dog. And I said, no, on a leash under your control. He said, no, that's not the rules in Anne Arundel County. And I said, no, it's the law for 30 years in Anne Arundel County. He said, okay. I said, on a leash under your control. So I'd really appreciate, I really wish, actually, if you put your dog on a leash. Mr. Burnham said, okay. I said, the dog ran up to me, not in your control. He said it did not. I said, you did not ask him to do that. He said, the dog did not get anywhere near you, Craig. I said, he ran right up to me. He said he did not. At that point, the dog got in the golf cart, and Mr. Burnham did then have control of him and under on a leash, basically, because he grabbed his collar, and he drove away. Since that incident occurred, another incident occurred. Gibson Island, as a homeowners association, has passed new dog rules that have 7 areas, this being one of them, that they say that dogs can roam off leash at large, and they're secured, these new rules say, because of geography, topography, and natural features. There are no natural features. I have provided evidence to Officer Hall and Officer Simpson that it's road to grass to road. There are no natural features. And again, Sunday morning, it was very cold Saturday, didn't go riding for very long, but 7 minutes into my ride on Sunday morning, more dogs off leashes, running down the middle of the road, stopping traffic, stopping cars. It's a real problem, and it's become much more of a problem when people like Mr. Burnham testify at this HOA dog hearing that the entire island should be a dog sanctuary and dog park. Look, we have 3 dogs. We've had many, many dogs. We walk our dogs on a leash. We have an electric fence. We're very cautious. Electric fences can fail. But again, my wife's been put in the hospital by someone walking their dog, seemingly fine, ran up and took out her front wheel, taken away in an ambulance. So the rules and laws that exist for Anne Arundel County and in Gibson Island is in Anne Arundel County. They're just going the wrong direction on this. It's just making a bad situation much worse. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lucy. Phil, do we have the video?
Yes, sir. I can get that up for you here. Let's see. Got it here. Share for which folder here? Screen 2, share system audio. I hope this comes through okay. I know Zoom's a little funny.
Are you going to use that against me someday? Come here. Come here, Boone.
I'm recording this.
I know you
Obviously,
are.
that's illegal.
It's not illegal if you're in control of your dog.
No. On a leash and under control.
No, that's not the rules.
That is the law.
in
30
Anne Arundel
years in
County.
Anne Arundel County.
Okay.
On a leash and under your control. I'm riding a bike. My wife was almost killed when we first got the island because of that. So I really wish you'd put your dog on a leash.
Okay.
Dog ran after me, not in your control.
Yeah,
You didn't ask me to.
All right, I think we've seen what we need to see. There's the interaction there is kind of without precedent there. We're here about the dog being at large, so I don't think we need to go further with that conversation. Mr. Burnham, you're here to defend yourself in this situation. Please go ahead.
I am. Commissioner Berger, are you stating then for my statement that you have confirmed that dog was off leash and not under my control?
For what I saw, is the dog was definitely off leash, and to my eye, seemed to be not under control. I don't know if the dog was on your property or anything like that, so there'll be questions to be asked. I'm not saying I've made up my mind any which way.
I think I'm going to have to ask for a continuance because Craig has now misspoken twice. First of all, he stated that he stopped his bike because the dog crossed over the road in front of him. If you can see from the video, and I measured it this morning, even though Craig drove by and started filming me yet again, measuring the distance between where he was standing and where I was in the woods, exercising my dog and training my dog in the woods, which I do routinely. The continuance is that he said that the dog ran in front of him, which is why he stopped his bike. That's an outright, utter fabrication. The second thing is that he states that the reason why he is so hyper-focused on this, other than in his attempt to weaponize this issue on this island, because he has a lawsuit against the corporation on this island that's ongoing, for which we have already spent $1.4 million as a corporation defending this island against Craig's lawsuit. Nevertheless, as he tries to weaponize this, not only in terms of the video of me, but the video of 4 or 5 others that he has posted on YouTube within the last few months, he also continues to state that his wife almost died, and in this case, he now said that when a lab ran in front. That 20 years ago, that has also been disputed. There are affidavits in the works to dispute that, and I think that needs to be adjudicated in a court of law. And let's find out under oath where those facts are regarding that. Third, I was in the woods, by my measurement, 300 feet away from the location where Craig stopped his bicycle, when I saw a man raise something up, didn't know what it was that he had in his hand, pointed at me, and I decided to begin to investigate, which is why, as you can see in that video, I drove my golf cart around. In other words, I was lawfully, by the rules of this county, by the rules of the Gibson Island Club and the Gibson Island Corporation, exercising my right to exercise and train my dog in a location that has always been on this island, a dog training and recreation area, and now is officially that, as filed with the Anne Arundel County General Counsel. And as such, the incident was perpetrated by Craig stopping 300 feet away to film me maintaining my lawful right to train and exercise my dog. But suffice it to say that he has now misspoken, if not fabricated twice, and I think we need to now adjudicate this in a court of law.
Mr. Burnham, I have a question, just a quick question though, because I mean, we're only here on a citation for an animal running at large. For today's purposes, we don't have any control or authority over any of the other things you mentioned. We're aware that there is some ongoing litigation out there in Gibson Island. But under Anne Arundel County Code, if the dog is not on a leash and not on your own property, then it is at large. So are you disputing that? Because that's all we can address today.
You could hear the whistle being blown, and my dog came to my side after a minute. I do not dispute the fact that he ran over to sniff Craig's leg, and then he got on the cart. And by the way, the other golf cart, which I'm willing to call as witnesses, is by Carrie and Matt Mudd, so that they can also attest, first of all, how far I was away as they were coming down St. Giles, and second of all, whether or not, in their opinion, my dog was, quote, at large and not under my control.
Sir, it's not a matter of opinion. So I'm a little confused. Maybe we're looking at two different things. The definition of at large under 124101 means that the dog is off the owner's property and not leashed and under the control of a responsible person. It's not leashed or under the control. It's leashed and. So as long as the dog is not leashed, it's considered at large. So I'm kind of confused as to what we're disputing here, because I don't think there's any dispute that the dog was unleashed and not on your property. Am I wrong on those two pieces?
Well, thank you, Commissioner. Let me ask you a question. Do the rules of Anne Arundel County allow a dog to be in a dog-designated area off leash, but under the whistle control of the owner or representative for the purposes of training and exercise?
Yes, as long as certain criteria are met.
And ma'am, what are those? What is that criteria, please?
I'm sorry. Are you asking for informational purposes, or are you now interrogating me? You clearly have the statute in front of you. And from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it has now been designated as a dog park, although I think that might be up for debate since it's not enclosed. But regardless, at the time of the citation, was it designated as a dog park?
Well, it was in the rules and regulations of the Gibson Island Club, which have been promulgated for decades here. It's called the Green Pages. And due to this and the incidents against Guy Casala, they have now been clarified and codified within a filing before the General Counsel of Anne Arundel County. So, in my opinion, if you want to hold somebody accountable for this, it should be the Gibson Island Corporation. It should not be me, because I abided by the rules on page 70 that have been promulgated for decades here.
Does Gibson Island exist in Anne Arundel County, Maryland, sir?
It does.
And do you believe that Gibson Island's rule book somehow supplants the county rule book?
Well, the rules of the county are, and I believe that